Good evening, everyone. Excited to be here. My name is Todor Milkov. I'm 46. I'm married with 3 kids, parrot and a dog, so essentially a full house. I'm pharmacist by training. I graduated Sofia Medical University, and then because I didn't want to only be passionate about the thing that I'm going to talk about today, but to be knowledgeable about it, I studied something called Corporate Innovation at Stanford Graduate School of Business. Other than this, I spent all my life in healthcare. I started working in a pharmacy. Then I joined the pharma corporate world, working for a couple of multinationals in different leadership roles. And then, driven by my desire to drive change, positive change in healthcare, I became a CEO of a local healthcare provider, laying out the grounds for something called advanced primary care or advanced outpatient care. And for the last few months, I'm working on starting up my own company, which is called GreenField Pharma. Okay, I need to slow down now.
You're on the first slide.
Yeah, because I didn't know that I need to spend exactly 20 seconds on each and every slide. So that's the whole story. People will look at the pictures. And I can rush now if you want me to.
No, don't rush. I was just asking that we pause.
Yeah, and essentially, I was talking about the company I'm starting up right now, but I'm not here to talk about my company because it's an experiment. Essentially, experiments has been an integral part of my life. I started very early. Maybe I was 6 years old. My mother was working in a laboratory, and that was my safe space and place where I was able to do and try new things, which maybe I was not going to be able to do elsewhere. And ever since, they stay with me. And today I wanted to share the brief story of an experiment I ran with one of my previous companies, which was targeting a broader context of targeting a broader change, actually, in the way large companies approach new ideas and new thinking. And I wanted to tell you that the impact goes beyond the traditional business outcomes, and it's actually about what makes people feel good at workplace. But before telling you this, I wanted to talk about creativity, innovation, and taxes. And actually, a famous guy once said that you can't escape from debt and taxes. And actually, we are trying to prove him wrong centuries before he even said this. Till this very day, people are trying to avoid paying taxes. That's why tax evasion is a huge problem for almost any country. But alongside this, it drives and carries a lot of creativity, innovation on both sides. So governments are being creative and innovative in collecting taxes. And we, as citizens, are again being creative and innovative not to pay our taxes. And the reason I'm talking about this is that the creativity and innovation process in large companies reminds me pretty much of the tax collection process. It's mostly about collecting ideas. It's mandatory. There's a deadline, and if you don't share what you have, you might get penalized. And if you dare to share, then you're not particularly happy with how your ideas are being treated, almost like how our money are being treated by the government. So a lot of people are saying they're being just discouraged. And they say, let's do nothing. And essentially, by let's do nothing, you don't drive a culture of creativity and innovation. And the question is, what can we do about it? And because it will still stay on this slide, when I talk about creativity and innovation, what I mean by creativity is because these things mean so many things to so many people. So creativity is our ability to generate ideas. And innovation when these ideas are implemented into practice. So the question is how innovation happens, and it happens, and it's happening, and still happens, like the evolution. And we talked about evolution, maybe not by coincidence. So evolution needs mutations. So variety of mutations, abundance of mutations, and it needs reproduction. The more living creatures you have, the more mutations you have, and then nature has its own system to select, retain, and transfer into the generations the mutations that are adding value, and eliminate those who are not good for the species. And it's pretty much the same thing with innovation. Innovation needs abundance of ideas. So like dumb ideas, just ordinary ideas, and brilliant ideas. And because I mentioned reproduction, reproduction needs a safe space. And for people, it's even fun, right? But, and if you think about all these kind of things, and if you implement them into a integrated approach, where you connect people, you have a clear process, and then you have a safe space, then the things will start happening. And one of the elements we were really intentional about was sense of humor and sense of levity, because business is a serious thing, but humor is also serious business. So we wanted to change the way normally corporations communicate those kind of ideas. So we started with a sense of humor. The next important thing is, because you hear so many people say, hey, I don't have the skills, that's not the right time, I don't know how to do it. So we've designed a creative confidence roadmap, which essentially was and still is a action-based learning program. So it's a digitalized process which helps people advance problems, or solve problems and advance ideas. And so it guides them through the way. And what we achieved through that, basically 70% of the audience we had, which is 300 people, we were a reasonably large organization, took voluntarily action on something along the process, which was not a single workshop, it was a long process. And finally, we came up with 5 different projects or ideas that are being advanced. And then COVID kicked in. And then people switched back to survival. And when people are under stress and they're surviving, they're not exceptionally creative. They do more of the same. And that's why you can't do creativity and innovation as an obligation. And this is one of the things that large companies and society need to realize. The good thing about this project was that it has been taken into the States. It was used by another US company, much more successful than we were here. But the last point I wanted to mention, and I mentioned in the beginning, is that the impact goes beyond the traditional business outcome. And it's actually related to what makes people feel good at workplace. And this is to be connected, to be heard, and to achieve something. And if you manage to wrap this with an element of safety and autonomy, then things will start happening. And I think we need to do this as a community, and we have to be really intentional about it. Thank you very much.